Hey folks, this is Reid Guthrie, the home detective in Seattle, Washington. We're in a home in Monroe, Washington today. It was built in the 1940s. We're up in the attic. And what I wanted to draw your attention to today is the gap here. You can see the framing, and you can see the fiberglass insulation, and you can see this gap between the fiberglass insulation and the framing. What you're looking at is the ceiling. Now, I think this is a living room right below me, but it really doesn't matter. This insulation might as well not be here. If you're not going to get the insulation up tight against the framing, then this gap is going to allow the heat to just bypass the insulation. And all the effort and money that you spent on putting this insulation in place isn't really doing anything for you. So one of the reasons that we use blown-in insulation, whether it's fiberglass or a cellulose material nowadays, is so that we can minimize these kind of gaps. We get a much better coverage and hence a much more efficient and effective blanket of insulation. I don't think you're going to be saving any money by trying to put bats in here. In this case, we can come through and we don't have to pull out the bats, but we want to come in and blow. It could be fiberglass insulation, it could be cellulose, or it could be some one of the many other materials that we use for attic insulation nowadays. In this case, we're going to have to put about a total of about 15-16 inches of insulation in here to meet the current energy code standards in this home. And I think in this case, given all the gaps that we have in the insulation, I think we'll find that spending that money will result in a real quick payback on the investment in terms of the energy cost savings, plus the house will be a heck of a lot more comfortable. It won't be as drafty. And whatever we choose to use, fiberglass or cellulose or whatever, can go right on top of this fiberglass. It doesn't have to be yanked out and replaced. But if you're thinking about insulating your attic and there's nothing up there now, don't spend your money on fiberglass bats. Put the money into a loose blown-in material. You'll get a much more effective insulating blanket. This is Reid Guthrie, the Home Detective, Seattle, Washington.